JP has always played it smart, but in the dangerous world of Power Book 4 Force, being smart isn't always enough. Jenard has eyes everywhere, and he's not the type to let threats slide. Could JP be walking straight into Jenard's trap? Some signs suggest that the next major twist could come with JP at the center. Fans are asking, theories are swirling, and the question remains, will JP survive? Or is Jenard about to make his next move? Every look, every conversation, every decision counts, and one wrong move could be deadly. JP's life has always been complicated, but lately, it seems the stakes are higher than ever. He's not just a player in the street-level game anymore. He's starting to get noticed by bigger forces. And none are more dangerous than Jenard. Jenard isn't just another criminal. He's smart, ruthless, and always thinking several steps ahead. His rise in the criminal world has been steady, and he doesn't make mistakes lightly. Anyone who challenges him or even appears to be a threat risks becoming a target. JP, with his growing influence and connections, has inadvertently drawn attention that could be deadly. He's been moving carefully, but even small mistakes could be fatal in this world. Every encounter, every deal, every look between him and Jenard carries weight. What makes the situation even more tense is how both characters operate. JP is clever, but he tends to rely on instinct and quick thinking. That has gotten him out of sticky situations before. But Jenard plays a different game. He doesn't react impulsively. He studies his targets, finds their weaknesses, and exploits them. He's patient, calculating, and ruthless. In past seasons, we've seen him eliminate threats quietly, often leaving others shocked when they realize the move has already been made. For JP, that means he's no longer just thinking about surviving daily challenges. He has to anticipate a predator who is not only smart but willing to kill to maintain his power. The tension between them is subtle but constant. There are moments when their eyes meet, conversations carry hidden meanings, and actions suggest strategies we may not yet fully understand. Each small interaction could be a test, a probe to see how far JP is willing to go and whether he can protect himself against someone like Jenard. Adding to the danger is the unpredictability of the world around them. Allies can turn into enemies, and friends can betray without warning. JP's allies are strong, but none are invincible, and Jenard has a way of exploiting every weak link. Every plan JP makes could be countered with a simple move from Jenard. That makes predicting the next target even more challenging, but it also sets the stage for speculation. Could Jenard be watching JP more closely than anyone realizes? Could a single misstep trigger an irreversible chain of events? The signs are there, and attentive viewers have noticed subtle hints. A lingering stare, a paused conversation, a subtle threat. Each moment builds tension. And the more you watch, the more it feels like JP is on the edge of something dangerous. The show has built a pattern with Jenard. He doesn't act without reason. But when he does, the consequences are severe. JP, despite his intelligence and careful maneuvering, may have unknowingly positioned himself as a potential target. Every storyline in Power Book 4 Force reminds us that survival depends on reading people correctly, staying ahead of threats, and understanding the hidden power plays in every scene. Jenard's presence alone creates an environment of fear and caution, forcing JP to think twice about every move. But even careful planning has its limits, especially when the predator is as calculating as Jenard. For the fans, this is the perfect setup for suspense. We've seen too many characters misjudge situations and pay the price. JP's position is tense, precarious, and fraught with danger. Every decision, no matter how small, could tip the scales in Jenard's favor. And the thought of JP being the next target isn't just speculation, it's grounded in the way Jenard has operated throughout the series. Understanding Jenard means understanding a mind that rarely slips. He doesn't just act on impulse. He studies, calculates, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. His approach to threats is methodical, almost surgical. Every move he makes has a reason, and every silence carries weight. In contrast, JP thrives on adaptability and instinct. Reacting quickly to problems as they come, that difference in style is critical because it sets up a clash that isn't always visible to the audience but is deeply felt in every interaction. While JP can think on his feet, Jenard thinks 5 steps ahead, creating a silent chessboard where each gesture or conversation is a strategic play. JP might sense tension, but he doesn't always know where it originates, which is exactly what makes him vulnerable. The subtle power struggle between them isn't just physical, it's psychological. Every shared scene, every exchange, is layered, with unspoken threats and warnings, pushing JP into a position where a single miscalculation could have fatal consequences. Jenard's past behavior provides clues to how he handles threats. He doesn't act recklessly, nor does he kill without reason, but he eliminates risks efficiently and permanently. His method often includes manipulation, intimidation, and isolation. He studies the habits, loyalties, and weaknesses of those around him, and he uses that knowledge to control outcomes. JP, meanwhile, has grown confident, maybe too confident, in his ability to navigate danger. His instincts have served him well in the past, allowing him to survive risky situations and come out on top. But Jenard isn't a predictable threat. Unlike many others JP has faced, Jenard anticipates reactions before they happen. He's not content with chasing, he strategizes for viewers. This creates an unsettling tension because we know that while JP's smart and resourceful, he's operating in a world where intelligence alone isn't always enough. Subtle hints like Jenard's lingering glances, the way he speaks in riddles, or his calm yet ominous presence signal that JP is on the radar in a way that may not be obvious to other characters. This is a dangerous dance, one where the steps are invisible, and one misstep could be catastrophic. Another key aspect of their dynamic is the network of alliances surrounding them. JP has friends and allies who are loyal, but loyalty in this world is often conditional. Any crack in JP's support system could be exploited by Jenard, turning allies into liabilities. Jenard, on the other hand, understands the value of isolating his target either through intimidation or manipulation so that the prey becomes more vulnerable. The tension is not always in confrontation, it's in the waiting, the watching, and the subtle nudges that test JP's boundaries. Every scene where JP and Jenard share screen time carries double meaning. What's said aloud is one thing, but what's left unsaid often matters more. For JP, reading between the lines is critical, but Jenard designs situations where lines are blurred, forcing JP to act under uncertainty. That uncertainty is where the psychological battle becomes dangerous. A split-second decision, an overlooked gesture, or a misplaced trust could trigger a chain reaction that puts JP directly in Jenard's crosshairs. Adding another layer to the tension is Jenard's unpredictability. He's not bound by morality or convention, which makes predicting his actions difficult. Fans have noticed that he often masks intent behind calm behavior, making it impossible for others to gauge the timing of his strikes. JP has experienced danger before, but few have been as patient or as calculating as Jenard. That makes the stakes higher. Even a single underestimation could prove deadly. The psychological tension is mirrored in the subtle storytelling, close-ups on their faces, lingering silences, and the choice of words that feel normal but carry hidden threats. For JP, surviving means understanding not just Jenard's current mood but his long-term intentions, a task that may be nearly impossible. Every conversation, every meeting, every glance is a test. And the environment itself seems designed to keep JP on edge. This dynamic transforms their interaction from a simple conflict into a battle of minds, where survival depends on seeing the invisible and anticipating the invisible before it's too late. Finally, their relationship sets up the perfect storm for narrative suspense. Its intelligence, courage, and adaptability make him a compelling character, but those same traits place him in danger when facing a predator like Jenard. Jenard's patient Calculating nature contrasts sharply with JP's reactive style, creating tension that is as psychological as it is physical. Fans of the show understand that every small interaction between them could be a setup for a major twist. And the question of whether JP will survive isn't just about luck, it's about outthinking a killer who rarely misses. The tension isn't overt yet, it's built in layers, waiting to explode in the perfect moment. And for viewers, this slow burn of danger keeps hearts racing and theories flying, making every JP Jenard scene a moment loaded with suspense, foreshadowing, and potential tragedy. The tension between JP and Jenard is more than just what happens on screen. It's built into the very way the show communicates danger, often through subtle clues and foreshadowing. For fans who pay attention, the writers have carefully planted hints that JP might be in jeopardy. It's never obvious, but the signs are there if you know where to look. One recurring element is the way Jenard watches JP. He doesn't always confront him directly, but the camera lingers on his expressions during critical moments, showing a calculating focus. That look, combined with the silence that follows some exchanges, suggests that Jenard isn't just aware of JP, he's thinking about how JP could fit into his larger plans. Every glance, every pause, every offhand comment carries weight in storytelling, especially in a series like Power Book. For Force, these details are deliberate. They are small but meaningful breadcrumbs that hint at future conflict. Another subtle clue comes from dialogue and choice of words. Jenard rarely speaks carelessly. Each line he delivers is loaded with double meanings, warnings, or subtle threats. For example, when he refers to power, loyalty, or consequences in passing conversation, it often mirrors the trajectory of a potential victim. JP's reactions to these comments are just as telling. He seems aware that something is off, but the danger is not fully clear to him yet, which creates dramatic irony. The audience senses the risk before he does. This is classic foreshadowing. The show uses character interactions to build tension without needing an overt threat. Fans who track the dialogue notice patterns. Jenard tends to circle his targets psychologically before moving physically. In this sense, every small interaction between Jenard and JP could be the prelude to a larger, more dangerous action. Physical positioning and scene direction also hint at JP's potential vulnerability. In multiple episodes, JP is shown alone, isolated, or in moments of vulnerability right before critical confrontations occur elsewhere in the series. The camera often emphasizes these moments with close-ups, lingering shots, or framing that isolates him from the surrounding characters. It's a visual cue that something significant could happen to him. In contrast, Jenard is frequently framed with shadows, partially obscured, or positioned in ways that highlight control and dominance. These subtle cinematic choices are classic foreshadowing techniques, signaling to the audience that a predator-prey dynamic is in play. JP, despite his skill and intelligence, is shown in ways that make him appear exposed, reminding viewers that even capable characters are not immune to danger in this world. The reactions of supporting characters provide another layer of hints. Allies, friends, or bystanders often behave differently around Jenard when JP is present. Sometimes there's hesitation, unease, or unspoken worry in the air. These subtle cues, though minor, suggest that others sense JP might be in danger before he does. In narrative storytelling, this is a common technique to foreshadow an upcoming twist. Characters around the potential victim act as silent warning signs, emphasizing the stakes without needing explicit dialogue. Additionally, Jenard has been shown observing situations from a distance, allowing events to unfold in ways that expose weaknesses in his targets. JP's confidence in handling situations, though admirable, might make him a prime subject for this kind of strategic observation. The combination of external tension and internal vulnerability creates the perfect storm for potential tragedy. Finally, the show's history of foreshadowing past events gives credibility to the theory that JP could be next. Characters who seemed untouchable or clever were often caught off guard due to overconfidence, misreading situations, or underestimating the patience of adversaries like Jenard. The writers have established a pattern. Threats build gradually. Tension rises with small, deliberate details, and then the consequences hit suddenly. His trajectory aligns with this pattern. He is intelligent, resourceful, and strong, but he is also in the line of sight of a character who does not act impulsively, he acts strategically. Every small hint, from lingering stares to carefully worded threads, builds a case for the idea that JP might be the next major target. For fans analyzing the series closely, the foreshadowing is subtle but unmistakable. Each clue, each moment, each narrative choice adds layers to the suspense, creating an uneasy feeling that JP's current safety is fragile and temporary. The brilliance of Power Book 4 Force lies in this slow-building tension. By using visual cues, dialogue subtleties, character reactions, and narrative patterns, the show keeps the audience guessing. JP's position as a potential target is never explicitly stated. Yet the careful layering of hints makes it feel inevitable, whether or not Jenard actually moves against him. The foreshadowing builds anticipation and sets up viewers for a major twist. Every small moment between them has weight, and the audience feels the growing threat even when JP doesn't. In essence, the show uses the art of suspense to make JP's survival uncertain, turning every scene he shares with Jenard into a minefield of psychological tension. The question isn't just if JP is next, it's when and how the show will reveal it, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats looking at everything that has happened so far. The question of JP's fate becomes unavoidable. The tension between him and Jenard has been building steadily, and all signs suggest that JP's next move could define not just his survival, but the direction of the story itself. Fans have been speculating, and when you piece together the clues, 3 possible outcomes start to emerge. The first possibility is that JP becomes Jenard's next victim. This theory is supported by the subtle foreshadowing sprinkled throughout the series. Jenard has been watching JP closely, analyzing his behavior and testing his limits in ways that only a patient predator would. Every lingering stare, every conversation with double meanings, and every scene showing JP isolated hints that danger is closer than he realizes. If this path unfolds, JP could be caught off guard by a strategic move, perhaps a betrayal from someone he trusts, or a carefully timed strike that leaves him no room to react. This scenario would create maximum dramatic impact, reinforcing Jenard's reputation as a calculating and ruthless force in the criminal world. It would also serve as a turning point in the series, raising stakes for all other characters involved. The second possibility is that JP survives, but at a cost. In this scenario, Jenard may attempt to eliminate him, but JP's quick thinking, instincts, and alliances allow him to escape immediate danger. However, surviving wouldn't be simple or without consequences. JP might lose allies, suffer injuries, or become increasingly paranoid, knowing he narrowly escaped Jenard's calculated plan. This outcome would create new tension and set up a prolonged conflict between the two characters. The dynamic between JP and Jenard would intensify, shifting from subtle psychological maneuvers to open rivalry, where every decision and every action carries higher stakes. This theory also aligns with the storytelling style of Power Book 4 Force, which often blends suspense with character growth, forcing characters to evolve in response to life-threatening challenges. Survival could mark a turning point in his character arc, transforming him from a clever player into someone hardened by near-death experiences and deeper understanding of Jenard's strategies. The third possibility is a twist that neither the audience nor JP anticipates, a situation where the target isn't JP at all, or where Jenard uses JP as part of a larger plan. In this scenario, JP could serve as a pawn, intentionally placed in a position that appears dangerous but is actually meant to manipulate other characters or advance Jenard's long-term goals. This type of narrative twist would be consistent with Jenard's calculated nature and his ability to think multiple steps ahead. The show has a history of subverting expectations And placing JP in what seems like imminent danger only to reveal a more complex plot would create shock and discussion among fans. It's a risky but plausible theory that would maintain suspense and keep viewers engaged as they try to predict the true nature of Jenard's plan while watching JP navigate increasingly tense situations. Breaking these predictions down, it's clear that JP's intelligence and instincts will play a crucial role regardless of the outcome. He may have survived dangerous encounters in the past, but Jenard is not a typical opponent. Every misstep or underestimation could be fatal. The psychological game between them will continue to escalate, combining strategic thinking, observation, and manipulation. For viewers, this creates a tense watching experience where every scene shared between JP and Jenard carries a weight far beyond the dialogue. Even subtle gestures, casual comments, and fleeting looks become loaded with meaning, hinting at the potential for betrayal, attack, or revelation. Ultimately, the fate of JP depends on how the story balances risk, strategy, and suspense. If he is targeted, it may serve as a pivotal moment that redefines the narrative. If he survives, his character growth and increased awareness of Jenard's methods could create new power dynamics in the series. And if the threat is a setup or twist, it will challenge viewers' expectations and reinforce the series' reputation for clever storytelling. Whatever happens, JP's storyline is designed to keep fans guessing, debating, and theorizing long after the episodes air.